Joe, good to see you. I want to go through the litany of games and just kind of pick some guys that you like on these teams that you'd be invested in for fantasy. So tonight there's 3 games. We'll start with Texans, Steelers. Who do you like on those teams?
Well, it's funny. We just had a big expert league draft this past weekend, and one of the Steelers that, for me, is rising up the draft board in the Superflex world is Justin Fields. I'm just looking at this very practically, which is, I'm the Pittsburgh Steelers. Am I trying to resurrect some mid-30s quarterback who looks like he's on the back end of his career, or am I trying to get reps and get a guy going who could possibly be the future of the quarterback situation in Pittsburgh? And Fields is clearly the latter. And to me, Fields is a guy that I was aggressive on this past weekend and drafting him as my 3rd quarterback. And I think other people should start looking at him in this scenario as well, because I just don't see a scenario here at this point where we keep running out this Russell Wilson narrative too much longer. Now maybe I'm wrong. Maybe we will get Justin Fields to sit for a few weeks, but I don't think it's going to be very long. I really don't. And we keep waiting for Russell Wilson to, get healthy, get right, get on the field and all that stuff. To me, I think it's Fields' opportunity right now to really continue to prove himself. And so far, a lot of good, positive things are coming back. I don't want to take too much out of, the guys wearing shorts playing football, because it's a different game when they're really coming after you. But I do think Justin Fields is one of those names. George Pickens, another one of those names too. And on the flip side, I think when you're talking about Nico Collins on the Texans side, I think his ADP is still very suppressed. I think this is a player that, if you look at what he did last year, that he's not getting enough credit. I know Stephon Diggs is there now. I know there's a lot of concern. Well, is there enough target share for him to go around necessarily? And the answer is yes, absolutely there is. This was a guy that finished as wide receiver 9 overall, and he's being drafted as wide receiver 15 or 16 right now. That's a clear value that I'm going to take every single time. So Nico is one of those players that right now I think is being a little undervalued, not a lot, but just a little, because of the uncertainty, maybe a cloudy picture with the Tank Dells of the world and Stephon Diggs of the world now also there. But I think that Nico pretty much proved last year he is the go-to guy. He's the clear number one. And the other guys are window dressing accessories.
All right, Falcons and Dolphins are playing tonight in Miami. Who do you like on those teams?
Well, Achane, I think, has got to be one of the absolute lottery tickets this year, right? I mean, the speed is off the charts. The size is a little concerning. Now, he did put some muscle on, so that's encouraging. But sometimes some of that extra muscle can lead to even more sprains and strains and issues too. I just actually had one of the doctors on my show too to break down some of those pieces about Achane, and what he said was, look, you have to understand that even if he has the muscle, even if he has all this, the style of running and his size, he's going to miss some time. So you have to get him at the right ADP. He's currently going as a top 10 running back. Right in that range is still Derrick Henry. So Henry's still a player for me that I just can't say no to at that same range. And as exciting as Achane is, I think that at the same time, you have to realize there isn't a normal risk. Now, on that same Dolphins team, Jaylen Waddle, another guy, came in as a rookie at 100 catches, had 1,300 yards 2 years ago. Last year gets hurt. Now, all of a sudden, he's been banished to that middle of wide receiver too. I don't understand it. I don't get it. Jaylen Waddle is still that dude, is still an incredible talent. That offense is incredibly efficient. So I am not concerned at all. And then looking on the other side, too, of that Falcons team, look, Bijan Robinson, I think, is prepared now and in a situation with a new coaching staff to really emerge and challenge for that number 1 overall RB spot, especially after CMC had 417 touches last year, which is an enormous amount that typically people do not do well the following season after that sort of workload. And that has been proven time and time again. You're excited about Kyle Pitts. You're excited about Drake London, what Kirk Cousins can bring to this offense. And then ancillary pieces like Darnell Mooney are still interesting. But in this game in particular, what we're looking for is guys to get healthy, guys to stay healthy out of it who are participating today. But Jaylen Waddle right now on the Dolphins, to me, is that guy that I just keep seeing falling in drafts. He's being undervalued. I think it is actually to the detriment of a lot of people out there. So scoop him up in your fantasy leagues because he is going to be a good return on investment.
Good one tonight in the Charm City, the Eagles and Ravens. They got a lot of good players on these teams.
Yeah, a lot. That would be an understatement for sure. Lamar just doesn't get enough credit, man. Another MVP. I'm wondering how many MVPs does he have to win before people start, really chasing him in fantasy at this point. And I know in single quarterback leagues, there's still value on the board. But the nice thing about Lamar is there's like a flare that goes up in every single draft, right? The Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Jalen Hurts flare, where that pretty soon after, okay, this is the quarterback run, this is when it's going to happen, this is the round. And then Lamar's usually sitting there as the 4th guy off that board, and that's a pretty good investment. Now, do I like Richardson, Joe Burrow, and those guys are going after? Sure, but Lamar is a little bit safer at this point than those guys. So it's something to keep in mind. And Lamar Jackson's ability to rush for an enormous total to still score touchdowns, even with Derrick Henry now there, who, by the way, another guy not getting enough respect. I don't care that he's 30 years old. Derrick Henry is built different. He is now going to a team where he is going to get a ton of work in a much improved offensive line, a much improved offense, at a team that ran the football more than anybody else last year. So why should we not love Derrick Henry this year one more time in the sun? I don't know why. I don't get it. 4 of the last 5 years, he finished as a top 5 RB, and the 1 year he didn't, he was still RB8, and he was RB16 and only played 8 games because he got hurt that year and missed half the season. Just let that sink in. He was so good, he was still RB16 with half a season. So I'm loving Derrick Henry this year. The tough part with the Ravens is looking at that wide receiver core too. Andrew's a little injury prone the last couple of years, a little concerned with him at the tight end spot. Zay Flowers, another one too. Can he get more consistency? Perhaps. We can hope that finds him. And on the Eagles side too, I think it's going to be really interesting because you want to see what this offense looks like. Shane Steichen left last year. You saw what happened in terms of that offensive coordinator, not really getting it a flow with everybody. And I think that now you're hoping that A.J. Brown, Saquon Barkley, Jalen Hurts, everybody can get on the same page here and bounce back after a disappointing season for the Eagles.
So you just did a draft. You're in several drafts. And does it blow your mind now how enormous this has gotten over the last several years? Like, it's just gone through the roof, fantasy. Like, we always knew that it was year to year getting bigger, but did you ever imagine that it would be as big as it is now and as profitable as it is now, and how enormous it is? It's like, it's bigger than literally watching the games has become secondary to people playing fantasy.
Well, this is how we take in the games, right? We take it in through wagering. We take it in through fantasy. It's crafting our own sports entertainment experience around something that we really can't control, but we can feel like we can control a little bit, and that's fun. It's fun on a Sunday. It's another way to get that action. And I think what's so interesting to me is the evolution. You know, you see all these dynasty leagues in the last 5 to 10 years. You see all these big high stakes leagues that have popped up too, where people are making big investments into fantasy leagues. And look, NFL is a tough one. Injuries can really hurt you, which is why it's really important to understand.
I think we lost Joe there. Just a dramatic, crash and burn at the end. Do we got him back? Can we get him? I think I got him there. Here we go. Finish what you were saying there, Joe. You were right there talking about these enormous investments in dynasty leagues.
Yeah, it is. And look, it's really tough. The dynasty leagues, the big time NFFC leagues, all these different high stakes leagues that are out there too. But this is why the value on the board is so important, understanding how to work that value, because that's how you get advantage in your casual league, in these high stakes leagues, all across the board. It's having a strategy and being able to be flexible and be prepared in drafts. Those are the two things. You know, you can't control too much, but you can control being prepared and being flexible and having different plans as the draft unfolds.